wanted you to talk about, that emotional piece, but also the important piece as it kind of pertains to the overall business, as it relates to software sales professionals that are hopefully our audience here at Lunch Money.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring this because this is kind of the other side of the coin, right? So we talked about demo and it's important to educate and do discovery. So kind of things that are important for us to do in the sales process. I think that the scenario you talked about and what happens with the car dealership as an example is they want you to go through that test drive because it's part of the sales journey that you have to go through. Now, you can skip that step and still have a purchase. But if you skip that step, you'll get to some of the later stages of negotiation in a different position that you were, other than, in this case, the emotional impact of like, oh, I really enjoy driving it. And it's not about trying to manipulate you or get you there or screw you up with the price later about it. It's really about the fact that every individual and every company has to go through their journey to start from I have a problem to I'm buying it. And you don't want to skip any steps of the journey. And skipping him, again, doesn't mean you won't have a deal. It means you'll have a compromise deal. Instead of ending up at the end point where it's optimal, this is exactly the value that we deliver, and this is exactly how we want to capture the value with our pricing. And this is exactly the experience you want to feel about, oh, I'm getting the price for my value. You won't reach it there in the same configurations if you didn't get the test drive. And it could be little things in terms of like, would you the terms you're going to end up negotiating for, what's your net payments. It doesn't have to be that your price will be even different, but if you skip that stage, you will enter the negotiation phase in a different feeling and a position in terms of how open and how you feel, which would makes it harder on the sales guy to really reach that optimal point of this is the value, this is how we price that value, this is how you feel great about this as a customer. And if something is missing, then it wouldn't be a great experience or a great outcome. Yeah. It's funny because it's a nuance that is so important about they have to go through. It doesn't mean that I say, okay, you have to do a demo in order for them to get there. It means you have to think about the journey your customers has to go through, and we'll talk about it probably in a different episode, and make sure that they don't skip any of the beats in the process, because it's not only that you risk not having a deal, you risk not having the optimal deal.
Yeah, so talk about that a little bit. Like, how does a demo then translate to optimal deal